Hello, everyone. It's high time to start our today's webinar about Jira Granular Restore, the newest feature of GitProtect. Thank you, everyone, for joining today and finding time to be with us. I would suggest let's give ourselves 2 more minutes for people that are late. We always know that there are some of those who will join us in a moment, and then we'll start our presentation. Just to walk you through our agenda of our webinar today. First thing first, I would like to show you how the platform works in practice, and it will be the core part of our meeting today. And final part as it's going to be the demonstration, but I believe it's not going to be the most crucial one. We're going to start with discussing some of the possible risks and what brought us as a GitProtect team to creating Jira Granular Restore. What was the feedback that we are hearing that led us to this direction? What to keep in mind, and later on, what are all the possible use cases? Because unlike the traditional disaster recovery solution, which is basically one tool for one problem, Granular Restore opens for you lots of different possibilities as Jira admins in your organizations. So we're going to start in a minute. Let's just give a chance for the people who are almost here to join us as well. It's nice seeing you all here today. Thank you very much for joining. I know that the time zone might be challenging for some of you, so it's nice that you are with us anyway. In that case, let's start our webinar today. On my clock, it's 3 minutes past the hour, so I think it's high time for us to take a look at today's webinar. So first thing first, I wanted to start with a question about what brought us here today. So what was the thought that provoked us to start working on Jira Granular Restore and effectively creating this solution? So I wanted to start with a general question. What would you do today if you realize that one of your colleagues deleted quite an important issue by accident, or made a bulk upload of data, and as a result of that, deleted plenty of attachments that were connected to issues, but now you can't access them any longer? Some of you might say, okay, but what is the actual chance of that happening? However, I'm sorry to say that according to the statistics that we monitor on a daily basis and statistics shared by cybersecurity media, 9 out of 10 security incidents are caused by human mistakes. And very often those are unintentional mistakes. Those are minor things that happen on a daily basis. However, this is number one reason for data loss. And even ransomware attacks, which are getting more and more popular each year, are not causing as big data loss as just human mistakes made on a daily basis. And truth be told, the reason for this 9 out of 10 is not necessarily how impactful they are, but just how common they are. Because while only 35% of small medium businesses experience ransomware attack on their own, however, I'm sure that even at the smallest company, there was a case that somebody lost their data because of a human mistake. And what can be those different things that can cause you to lose your data in case of Jira? There's plenty of those, starting from accidental deletion, which can happen especially if you have wrongly configured access rights in Jira, going through bulk changes, which are very popular if you, for example, want to get data out of an archive and you import XML file into Jira to access all the necessary data, or even updating the improper field in your Jira issue, which you can think is a minor mistake, but sometimes those fields will fill out with important information, like, for example, URL shared with us by a customer, and by overwriting it, we are losing access to content of that particular field at that time. Possibilities are different, and last but not least, we need to remember that even in the best workplaces, there is still chances of just frustrated employee or ex-employee deleting some data before they leave your organization. And one would say that, okay, but in case like this, I can count on Atlassian. Atlassian is taking charge of my data, and he'll keep me safe in a scenario like this. Unfortunately, all cloud services nowadays have something called shared responsibility model. And this is common theme for Atlassian, but also other DevOps platforms like GitHub, GitLab, or Bitbucket, that if you read into their terms of service, they are saying it quite clearly that while they are taking care of the platform and the hosting of the platform, they are not taking care of your data. And today I checked, out of curiosity, Atlassian data storage policy, and you can even see in it very clearly that even though Atlassian says, yes, we are making backups, we are making them daily, we store them for 30 days, those are not backups made for your convenience, not for a case when somebody deleted issue or project by accident, or not for a case when somebody has overwritten the data and you've lost access to it. Those are only used for a case when Atlassian has an outage, and they make a restore after an outage from those backups. But you can't count on them to help you if one of your developers removed a bunch of issues because they were particularly frustrated that day, or somebody bulk deleted a couple of attachments. This shared responsibility model is something that I advise you to keep in mind, because even if you come back to this article from the data storage policy, you can see that Atlassian is recommending having separate backup solution, and unfortunately, the one that they have in place relies on a manual export of the data. And if you want to restore this data, you can only restore them all at once. You are not actually able just to cherry pick specific data which are relevant for you. Another big issue to keep in mind is issue related to your security in terms of outages. And only last year, looking at some statistics, Jira had 53 outages that resulted in a data loss for their customers. 30% of Jira customers actually experienced data loss due to the server outage. But what is important, only in 97 of cases, this was just a partial data loss. So they haven't lost all their data, they haven't lost their complete Jira instance. They only lost a handful of data, for example, that was created during the day before backup occurred. This is typically around 4 to 8 hours worth of work of your developers. In some organizations, especially larger ones, it still can be a lot. And interesting thing that even though this is only a partial data loss and we only lost a small amount of data because we can't rely on Atlassian, even if you have some backup solution in place, manual one, time to restore is absurdly long. Only 2% of those organizations that experienced this partial data loss was able to recover the data in under an hour, and only 52% of organizations were able to do it under 12 hours. So imagine that you've lost even as a small thing as an issue or small thing as attachment, and it took you over 12 hours, so more than a day in practice, to actually get this data back. And why that happens? This happens because most of the backup solutions that you have on the market work on a premise that they allow you to make a backup and restore of a whole Jira instance that you're working with. All the projects, all the issues, all the workflows, all the attachments. And you're not actually able to pick the data that you really lost and recover those specific data. And this was the reason why we brought to the world and to you today Jira Granular Restore, solution that allows you to cherry pick specific metadata, specific data points from Jira, and restore them to your organization. and what you can actually restore with GitProtect, Granular Restore. You can restore projects along with a whole configuration, which is especially useful because you are able to restore not only the specific data points, but you are able to restore store the whole configuration, meaning that you are actually able to use the platform on migration of configuration, for example, from sandbox to the production. You can use it to move all the boards, sprints, and issues and epics within this project. But it's not necessarily on the specific project. You can go within the project, within GitProtect, and pick specific issue and restore only that. And along with it, you restore all the comments, all the attachments, all the links, and you can even go as far as restoring specific attachments that were made to that issue as well. You can also use this solution to restore attachments in bulk. And as some of you might know, GitProtect can be used not only to make a restore to the same Jira instance from which the copy has been made, but it can be used also to a restore to completely different instance, and also to a restore to your local drive. Meaning that if you ever wondered how you can quickly and efficiently bulk download all the attachments from your Jira to your drive in a form which is easy to browse because we are structured by projects and issues, this is something that GitProtect is now able to do for you today. And what are the actual use cases for this? This is not only for restoring of a deleted data, although it is the most important case, but it is also to speed up this whole restore process, because whereas the recovery of the whole Jira instance can take even up to a few hours, for our largest customer nowadays, the restore takes over 14 hours to restore the whole instance. If you are restoring just specific issues, if you are restoring just specific attachments or workflows even, or just configuration, that can be much quicker. You are able also to use this solution for a data migration. So for example, if you have two organizations merging together their Jira accounts, you can take all the projects from one account and use Granular Restore to move them to this new organization without overwriting an existing data. Normally, with traditional backup solutions or with manual backup, this restore is done by importing the XML file into your Jira account. This typically results in overwriting existing instance and removing any data that is inside. In case of GitProtect and GitProtect Granular Restore, you can achieve this restore without any damage to the data which is already in the account, and as a result, you can merge those two together. It can even go as far as merging two projects into one, to take all the issues from those two and put them together into one new project. This is also helpful if you manage multiple different Jira accounts. Let's say you have a sandbox when you are testing some configuration, or you're preparing environment for your developers for the new up and coming project. Instead of copying the configuration manually, you can just copy project, make backup of it with Granular Restore, and then with Granular Restore, you can restore it to your GitProtect, to your Jira account, the production one, when you can keep using this configuration. And lastly, you can use it for data merging and consolidation. So if you have some old important archive data that are scattered across multiple projects, and you just want to put them in one archive data set, you can also use Granular Restore for it. And when it comes to benefits of it, one thing I can say for sure is just saving time, because all the tasks that are related to the admin work, especially managing the infrastructure, copying configuration, moving the data, moving issues from one project to another, or even moving issues from one Jira account to another, are now possible and extremely quick. Secondly, the restore gets much quicker And now those times to restore partially lost data under an hour or under 12 hours are finally possible, because when the data loss incident happens, you can go inside your Jira account, see, okay, I'm missing those issues, those attachments, and you can restore those specific things. This speeds up the whole restore process, so disaster recovery in case of partial data loss is much simpler thanks to that. Your work as Jira admin becomes much quicker with all the management work that you are doing between all the different accounts, between sandbox and production. And lastly, you can provide better experience for developers, because at time when they are frustrated because they lost an issue, because they deleted attachment by accident, which is very, very often from my experience, instead of them being frustrated that they lost it and now they need to call a bunch of people just to get it, you can assist them by restoring that specific issue or that specific attachment very quickly without overwriting any data added in the meantime, but just to get this data back. But guys, this is lots of theory, which I hope sounds promising for you. But right now, I would like to show you how this platform works in practice during the live demonstration. So I am right now within our GitProtect account. And just as a reminder, GitProtect is a platform which you can use to protect all your DevOps resources. So not only Jira, but also your code repositories with GitHub, Bitbucket, and GitLab. And when we go inside our DevOps area of the platform, you are actually able to see your Jira organization, and you are able to see right inside of it what are all the projects that you are protecting right now with your solution. And right now, with that in place, normally the option that we had before adding Granular Restore into GitProtect was restoring the whole organization. However, right now, with the new option of Granular Restore, when we hit our Restore button, we are actually able to pick data, to pick what type of restore we would like to do. Let's say I'll go back to October and I click on my restore button. GitProtect right now offers me two options: disaster recovery, which will be restoring the whole instance. And this is still a very useful option if you experienced outage of a Jira, for example, Atlassian Cloud has outage, and you want to restore your data to your Jira data center and keep working there. This is still an option for you. However, if you want to restore only specific data, then we click on our Granular Restore option. And here you are able to pick whether you want to make restore to your original organization, completely new one, or do you want to make a restore to the device. Option with a restore to original organization will be probably the most common one for you. This is the case when somebody deleted issue or attachment by accident and you want to restore just the specific data. Restore to the new organization works in a similar manner, but with advantage that you're able actually to migrate this data from one account to another without playing with XML, without playing in uploads. GitProtect simplifies this whole process for you, and restore to the device to on-prem can be used if you want to bulk download all the attachments from your Jira account to your local drive or to your server. Let's walk through together from the simplest scenario we have, so restore to the original organization. Right now, I am able to pick what do I want to restore: my projects, my issues, attachments, or workflows. If I go, for example, to pick option that I want to restore my issues, I can just go here, click restore issue, go next, and GitProtect allows me right now to browse through the list of all projects that I have in my account, or I had in my account at that time. Whenever I go into into here, I can either decide to pick all the issues that are inside this project to be restored, or I can choose to pick specific individual issues to be restored. And then GitProtect allows me to browse through the list of issues and bring those specific ones back to life. And from here, I can also see the summary of those, and I can see their status. So it's easier for me, for example, to sit down along with developer. Hey, do you remember what was the summary of the issue that you deleted, or do you remember what was status of it? And based on that, you can browse, even if you have hundreds of issues to go through to restore this specific one that is interesting for you. And after I picked all the issues I want to restore, I can click proceed. Now GitProtect will show me a summary of all the issues that I want to restore, how many of those they are, and I can decide, do I want to restore attachments with them as well? Do I want to restore child issues to those? So it can be used if you have an epic, or if you have a child issues to a parent task. And you can also decide on a project mapping. This is very useful feature, because with a restore, you can decide that you want to move those issues that you are restoring to one specific project that you've created. For example, okay, I don't necessarily want those issues to come into my original project, because I'm not restoring the whole issue. I just want to restore it so I can check what was the value of fields in those issues at that time. So I created a new dummy project for that, and I'm restoring those issues into it. So from there, I can extract the data I need, or I can verify comments that I need to. Secondly, I can also decide to restore issues as a completely new one. So even if I'm restoring them to the same project they are coming from, there is no risk that I'm going to overwrite data as well. In this case, GitProtect will add custom name to those, or custom suffix to the name of those issues to their summary, so that with a timestamp, so that you can avoid situation where the data is overwritten. And this is as simple as that. And as it typically happens in case of GitProtect, now I can go to my task manager, and I can see summary of my task happening in the background. And once it's finished, I will see that in my summary of finished tasks as well. As you can see, it is restoring all the different resources. So I can, for example, see that it restored 2 issues, 6 different issue types, 10 statuses, 2 workflows so far. So this is how the restore of specific issues works. Obviously, with that, the same solution, we can go as far as restoring whole projects. As mentioned during my first part of the presentation, I'm able to go into my specific copy, decide that I want to make granular restore from it, again, my original organization, and now I'm able to pick projects that I want to restore, the whole projects from my organization. And here, same as with issues, this can be also used, first of all, to copy project along with its whole configuration, so that you can prepare in advance configuration of a project, for example, in Sandbox, and later on restore it to your local, restore it to your production environment. And secondly, while doing so, we can also decide on doing a project mapping again, which in this case can be also used either to restore the project as completely new ones. If we mark option restore as a new project, restoring data from those projects to already existing project, in which case, for example, you can overwrite configuration of a project using the one from the backed up project, or you can just decide to merge them. For example, I want to put all this data into my GDP project if I want to. And with that done, I'm able to click apply and start this task again. And similarly, GitProtect is also showing me summary how many projects, how many issues, boards, and sprints will be restored as a part of my task. My previous task has been completed as well. Moving up next, what we can also restore is our workflows and attachments. And here, in the same manner as with projects and issues, I'm just going to pick a copy from which I can make a restore. I choose my restore destination, and later on, for example, I'm able to pick a workflow, and now GitProtect will allow me to browse through all the workflows that I have configured in my account and make a restore of those as well. And when I'm doing so, I'm later on picking that I want to restore them, and it's as simple as that. And in similar manner, I can also use it to restore attachments as well. When I browse now through Almar data, and I'm able to make a restore of those as well. So here I have summary of all my attachments that my Jira account have been holding. I can see the source of those. So for example, specific issues, I can search through either based on the file type, based on its size, and this way I can find out the attachments that I want to restore and then go forward with the restore as well. So as you can see, this process is very simple. It doesn't require any in-depth technical knowledge, and to do it, the only thing that you need to do is go into GitProtect, connect your Jira organization into GitProtect, which basically requires from you logging into your Jira account as an admin user, creating backup plan, which makes a copy of your Jira account. And after that's done, with every copy that's made, we are copying data both for disaster recovery and for granular restore as well. If you'd like to try this solution in practice, I recommend you to go to our website, gitprotect.io, and there you can use the sign-up form to create your own 14-day trial of GitProtect and testing the solution there, or you can find us through Atlassian Marketplace as well. That will be all from me when it comes to our webinar today. Thank you very much for your time, and I recommend you to test the solution yourself because it really works magic. Have a great day, everyone, and looking forward to seeing you all soon, hopefully during your own demonstration of GitProtect or during our meeting or during the setup of your solution. Thank you very much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.